From Lake Stevens Community Park in Lake Stevens, Washington, it's the 2023 USAFL Western Regional Championships. This is the final game of round-robin play between the Golden Gate Roos and the the Sacramento Suns, and we are underway here in this final match. The Golden Gate Roos are one game away from winning their first Western Regional Championship since 2019 as the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw-in on the near side. The Roos wearing the blue and the orange jumpers, and the Iron Maidens are, the Suns, I keep calling them the Iron Maidens. The Suns are wearing the red and the yellow. We'll take a look at the just a moment. We'll fill you in on all of the on both teams' earlier matches today. As here is Jordan, that's Bradley Jordan, who plays the ball into the middle of the ground. And this one is sent in towards the top of the sticks there. And we'll see what happened here. We had our just rearranging the furniture here, and it will be a kick out. Sends that one through and sends that one into the parking lot for a goal, and Golden Gate draws first blood. On the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's the Golden Gate Roos, 1 straight 6. And the Sacramento Suns no score. And we'll give that one to the man in the middle there. I think that's Dan Levy, and it is. So Dan Levy, the U.S. national teamer for the Revolution, gets things going. And while they reform in the middle of the ground here, we'll tell you that the games earlier today, as the Roos defeated L.A. San Diego 28-2 as the mark is taken by the Suns. In the second game, they defeated the Grizzlies 29-5. Out to the near side, here come the Suns, who are 0-2 on the day. Here is Connell, who runs out of bounds. There was a half-hearted appeal for deliberate out of bounds, but it will be a boundary throw-in. So the ball comes spinning back in the play, knocked down by John Thomas Lloyd for Sacramento. But Golden Gate, goodness, this is what happens when you call 6 games in a row, folks. You don't know what day it is. The Suns earlier today lost to the Grizzlies 27-16. The game ended a couple of minutes early. Ramesh Baharan from the Suns was concussed and had to go to the hospital. But meanwhile, we'll do that in a moment. Oh, there's a great shot for a goal, and that one's there. Sacramento answers right back. A great goal there by, I think only saw 8, but we'll give that Jim Blanco with the goal. So, on the Watch AFL scoreboard, it's 1 goal apiece. And that is after 3.5 minutes of play. So we said, as we were just to finish the thought, that was the first game. They lost 27-16, and then the second game was a close one. They lost 28-26. And it's worth mentioning as well, as this is Julian David, who was stripped and dispossessed of the footy. And here comes Duncan to the outside, and the mark taken in front. And the Suns will have a chance, or rather the Roos will have a chance to extend their lead through Christopher Jourdain, who kicked 2 goals in the second game earlier against Seattle. Here is Jourdain, who strides forward. The kick is on the way. It is dead center. Perfect goal to the Golden Gate Roos and Chris Jourdain. And after 4 minutes and 15 seconds, we've had 3 major scores, and things have been pretty electric so far in the early going. Golden Gate 2 straight 12, Sacramento 1 straight 6. That's for Watch AFL. Now, a couple of weeks ago, in fact, it was the weekend of the Super Regionals on June 25th, the Roos and the Suns actually had the lead, and the Roos won the game 66-60 on a kick after the siren. That is how close the Suns came. So this is not going to be, even though this is the third game of the day for both teams, and conditioning is going to really determine what happens here. This is not going to be this is going to be tough no matter what. This is Toby Simmons, the Sheik, out to the near side. Gets the ball to Hutchings. Rabbit kicks the ball forward. Almost marked. It's dropped down. Over to get it now. And here is Hutchings, who stays with the footy, but it comes to the Roos, sending that one into the far pocket. Going after and digging it after it there is Peter Terr. Terr has the footy. He's dispossessed. Duncan tried to pick it up on one hand, and there comes Simmons, who kept the ball in play, and the Sheik was taken down from behind. And it will be a free kick. And it will actually be a good kick. It will be for Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor, a.k.a. Moose, a.k.a. one of our most unknown presidents, a.k.a. Fort Zach. He is an absolute unit. National team product. Taylor off of 2 steps. Oh, my goodness. That is a boot and a half. What a goal by Zach Taylor. 3 straight 18 Golden Gate, 1 straight 6 Sacramento. Watch AFL scoreboard. What a goal by Taylor. I mean, and we are sitting right behind it, just watching the way that the ball curved off the boot. That was just, it was a great placement, but just absolute torque of the footy. 6.5 minutes gone. We're playing 2 20-minute halves. These teams are on their third game of the day. Of course, the other 2 divisions, in the women's division, we just saw the Golden Gate Iron Maidens win the women's division, defeating the Seattle Grizzlies in the final game. So Golden Gate trying for the double here. They're a long way from it. And the Portland Steelheads defeating the Orange County Giants to win the men's Division II crown. Golden Gate trying to add their 4th goal of the contest. Umpire says play on. Sending that one down the line. Almost taken there off the hands of 33 for Sacramento. And the ball goes out of bounds. The Suns, Division II winners in 2016. Let's think about this. 2015, they won again in 2016. They were just edged by the Grizzlies in 2017. And then coming back in 2019. The mark taken up on the far side. They won in 2022. Thanks to Nico Capriano and company. Oh, good mark. And again, that's Taylor. There's a moose on the loose running in the hoose. So Taylor will go back. And I love his strength. I love the fact, he's, like I said, he's not small, but he can run like the Dickens. The kick is on the way. It fades left, but did it sneak through? His teammates like it, and so does the goal umpire, and the Roos have kicked 4 in a row. That's Taylor's second. Golden Gate, 4 straight 24. Sacramento, 1 straight 6. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard for Tasmanian and Snohomish County Sports. 8 minutes 39 unofficially gone. And worth mentioning that on the other field, the other 2 teams that these 2 teams have played earlier, the L.A. Dragons combo with the San Diego Lions and the Seattle Grizzlies are playing. The Grizzlies have a 1-1 record, as does the Dragons and the Lions combination, that SoCal combination. But all the games so far in this particular division have been competitive, even though, you look at 29-5 and you might not think it as competitive. But Seattle played really well in that, and I felt like that kind of belied it. Same thing with L.A. earlier. I think with the exception of Portland scoring 100 points, defeating the Hawks 100-4, all the games here today have been pretty competitive. It's been a lot of fun to watch, and hopefully you've enjoyed watching the play at home as well. We should hope so, because that's why we do this. Here are the Suns with a chance now. There's a chip in short, marked. That's a kick in up on the far side, and Hutchings had it. There's Duncan. Duncan back from his offensive position to try and harry him, and then over the top, and we'll ball it up on the far side. These two teams, of course, being a mere 2 hours or so apart from each other, play each other very often during the course of the season. They know each other very well, and especially on the women's side when the Maidens grew out of the Suns women's team. The Suns, when they were first formed by Matt and Amy Bishop in 2009, were known as the Sacramento Screamers, as the ball gets knocked down and the ball goes out of play. And they were able to get a affiliation with the Gold Coast Suns. Of course, two Queenslanders. That's invariably going to happen. Ball comes spinning back in the play. Knocked down by Livy. Handball across. Here is Duncan. Duncan sends that one forward. And is there going to be a chance for a mark? Not offhand. And there's a handball back. Going to go and pick that one up. And the umpire crosses her arms like the Monsignor of the First Church of Australian Rules Football, and we'll have a ball up. Handball back now, looking for Clark. Clark goes up the far side, marked. That's Julian Faraone. Faraone going back. He's told that he is a couple of seconds now. You get 30 seconds to do what you have to do here. And Faraone's kick is up on the way. It looks good off the boot, and it sails home. And the hits just keep on coming from the boys from the Bay Area. Golden Gate, 5 straight 30, as Faraone becomes their 4th goal scorer. Sacramento, 1 straight 6. 5 in a row to start the game, and 4 unanswered. Well, the Roos, I think, have always established themselves as one of the best teams in the West, and aside from last year when they really kind of struggled. And mind you, Denver hosting the Western Regionals, kind of an anomaly a season ago, and so they were a part of it, even though the Bulldogs are now in the Central region. But even during their strong years, as this is going to be a free kick to the Roos for contact off the ball in the ruck contest, you have to say that they've been the best team in the West for so long. As this one is kicked down, it goes up under the defender. David was there, but dropped the pill, and the umpire says, holding the ball, it'll be a free kick. It's Rosemary Quokka umpiring and doing a fantastic job. This is Blocko, the former Golden Gate Roos, sending this one down the corridor. That's a huge Tasmanian kick, as this one is sent in by Casey Campbell. That's Colby's brother, and he plays like Colby as well. As the ball goes down, what's the call here? It's going to be a free kick to the Suns, and they'll have a chance to cut into the lead. I think this is going to be Robbie Quokka. No, yeah. So here is Robbie Quokka. He's been around this team a long time, and the reason why Rosemary's gotten into the sport. Quokka, because you're mine, I walk the line. He's told to play on. Left-footed kick is going to start right and stay right, and going to be through for a behind. 6 minutes to go, first half, 2 20-minute halves. The Suns go to 1-1-7. They trail by 23 points. Golden Gate 5 straight 30. Brian Barish here with you, the final game of the day, here at the Western Regionals, here in Lake Stevens. Our thanks to you for sticking with us throughout the course of the afternoon. Been an absolutely delightful day of Aussie Rules football. Handball's up over the top. Stiff arm there put in by Capriano, the best Aussie rules football player ever to come out of Chile. And between him and Facu from Argentina, they've got the South American market cornered, it seems like. Oh, almost taking the mark over the top was Cooper White. He got up high, but unfortunately wasn't able to bring in the footy, which was the most important part. Handball backwards. Here comes the Roos. Simmons over the top. Harried the play, and the ball rolls out of bounds and into the player tents. Less than 5 minutes to go. Ball comes spinning back in the play, and they work it over to Jordan. Handball kicked into the middle, dropped by Tier, who should have had it. Sending that one and going back. That one's going to go all the way. Oh, it just took an off break to the right side and goes through for a behind. And that's the first blemish for Golden Gate. Back to a 4 straight goal difference between the two teams. It is 5-1-31 Golden Gate, 1-1-7 Sacramento. That's on the Watch AFL scoreboard. Boundary throw-in. 16-20 gone out of the 20. It bounces to Jordan. Handballs it over to Duncan, who sends that one in, but tracking back was Hutchings. Hutchings thinking about going up the corridor and does. Marked nicely by Capriano. Sending that one forward down the line. And then off the back, long handball back. Cooper White, looking for Jackson Shear. And Jaxon, it's interesting that we have him down as a national. Who's usually, there's actually a player for the North Texas Devils named Jackson. So here is Sacramento now with the footy. Sending that one dead across and switching the play to Eric Anderson, the former Portland Steelhead. Sending that one down inside 50. That's a huge kick. And that one goes off to the side. And stays in play. Now goes out to the near side. Looking for Connell. And Sean Connell goes out of bounds. It'll be a boundary throw-in. So says umpire Jonathan Mills. 2 minutes 20 seconds to go here in this first half. 31-7. Golden Gate the lead. Ball comes spinning back in the play, and we're going to do that one more time. Ball comes spitting back in the play once again. This is Livy handballing it back. Now it's going to bounce in, going to be picked up by Shepard Lycan. Oh, big crunch right in front of us, but it's picked up now by Tier. Tier stays with the footy. And there is Duncan, who sends that one for goal. It's going to bounce left, and somebody got a hand on it, and I think that's been rushed through for a behind, and it has. So Golden Gate extends their lead by another point. 5-32 for the Roos, 1-1-7 for Sacramento. It is a 25-point lead with less than a minute to go here in the first half. Out to the far side where it's marked. The Suns have been moving the ball pretty well. The Roos have been moving it, I think, a little bit better. But there are some good athletes, and this might be the best team I've seen the Roos bring to a regional championship. Of course, having lost to Boston last year in the grand final in Division II in what was a very hard-fought, very exciting, probably one of the most exciting games in the USAFL in 2022. 15 seconds to go, 32-7. Ball, they're going to want to redo that, and that's a shame because that's going to run out the clock. Sacramento, who might have had a little sniff at a chance, is not going to get one. There it is. Halftime in the final game of the men's Division I, and the score, it's the Golden Gate Roos 5-2-32. The Sacramento Suns 1-1-7. As I said, the Roos playing a little bit better. They're a little bit more polished, and they kicked 5 straight goals to open up the scoring off the feet of 2 from Zachary Taylor, 1 from Faraone, 1 from Jourdain, and 1 from Livy. And Jim Blocko, the only goal, the former Golden Gate Roo, the only goal for the Suns after 20 minutes. We'll be back for the final 20 minutes of the day here. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2023 USAFL Western Regional Championships here on USAFL.com. Well, 20 more minutes of action separates us from the end of the day, and one of these teams, probably Golden Gate, from winning the Western Regional Championship for 2023. As we get set, it's the Roos 5-2-32, Sacramento 1-1-7. Brian Barish back here at Lake Stevens Community Park in Lake Stevens, Snohomish County in Washington State, where the apples and the cherry cider run fierce. The Suns now kicking from right to left. The Roos now kicking from left to right. Let's see if this changes anything. It's going to be marked and back the other way come the Roos. Sending this one in, and it's nice marked over the top. He's not going to worry about playing. He's going to play on quickly, does Caprignano. Nico sends that one on. He was best and fairest at Westerns in Denver a season ago, and the ball goes out of bounds, and we'll have a boundary throw-in. Hi, Millsy. Well, Jonathan Mills, the umpire, saying hello, and Millsy. Let's give it up for Millsy. He's been for a long time. He's been part of the higher up of the and the organization here, the Umpires Association, and the amount of coordination that he and everybody else have had to do. I mean, being an umpire, as Mackenzie Adamo said in the last game, it is not an easy thing to do, and a lot of people, especially at the professional level, there's a lot of criticisms and a lot of people who have either not or are not willing to do that particular job, and it does take a lot. And you see, as we mentioned, Rosemary Cuoca wearing she is a level 0 umpire going for her level 1 accreditation, and she is one of those people who are expanding her footballing IQ and taking the initiative to go and do it. As the play continues, Duncan knocks it forward. His team up by 25 points and less than 20 minutes away from winning their first regional title since 2019. Here now slaloming through, sending this one inside 50, and this one is going to go all the way in. It's going to be a behind as Taylor went after it. I wonder if that was like a behind wide, because I thought for a second it went off his foot, but it didn't. So it's back to 26 points, 33-7. 5-3 plays 1-1. It'll be interesting to see when we get towards awarding best and fairest what comes of that. You might not be familiar with it. Best and fairest, there's 2 awards, best and fairest and the MVP, and we'll explain more about that in just a moment. Here is Sheik Simmons out to the near side, and the mark is taken, and taken by Andrew Lewin. Lewin, the Suns, worth mentioning, an All-American side except for Toby Simmons. Everybody on this Suns team is American, or at least a national. We mentioned Fakule from Argentina, Caprignano. It was a nice mark taken. And then Vilami Taipoletti is from Tonga. So one Australian, everybody else is from a non-Aussie rules country, essentially. Although Tonga's Aussie rules prowess has been inconsistent but pretty good over the last couple of years, as this one is kicked forward. On a hop taken by Clark. Little shovel pass on. Sending that one down the line. And David now going after the footy. And over to get it was a Shepherd Licken. Up on the far side. Ball out of bounds, and see what comes of this. It'll be a free kick. Best and fairest, whoever win, the umpires get together, award 3 votes for the best player, 2 for the second, and 1 for the third best. Whoever has the most votes wins best and fairest at the regionals. And there's also an MVP award, which is the best player in the game between the top 2 teams. So there is the possibility, as this one is marked going back by Bradley Jordan, there is a possibility for more than one award to be given. And then there's also the all-regional team, which will be announced in the next couple of weeks. Some of the best players, as that one is picked off by Kendall Hutchings. So up on the far side now, and here back the other way. In the middle now, all good tackle in there as Garrett Hale was taken down, and he is Gone gone. And the tackle by Anderson, who goes up on the far side. Setting that one down. And that one is picked off. Here come the Roos. Roos haven't put the game away just yet, but you feel they're 1 goal away. That one skitters across like a cockroach on the bathroom floor. Picked up by Jordan. Comes at, and that one will go on, stumbling down, and here comes Jourdain, and that one goes sailing. We've broken out the Christopher Cross, and that means that it's time to go home soon. It is out of bounds on the full. Oh, no, in fact, it did sneak through 4 behind. I thought it went out of bounds on the full, but it didn't. So it's 34-7. Again, game still doesn't feel like it's been put away yet, but you also feel like they're going to be very close. Bradley Jordan has a bounce. Goes into the middle for Hale. Hale says, "Hail the great man." And this one will, honest to goodness, sail out of bounds on the full, I believe. And it has. Couldn't tell initially. So 34-7 the score. 6.5 minutes gone in this final term. This one will be sent down the line. Oh, that was a good, clean contest as Isaac Juarez got Sean Connell up the side, and it'll be a boundary throw-in. Ball comes spinning back in the play. Knocked down, picked up by Connell. Juarez again throwing his body in well. This all happening about 10 feet from where I'm sitting. As here comes Lindfelt. As that one is kicked forward by Lloyd, and the ball goes out of bounds off of the camera stanchion, and we'll have a ball in. The boundary umpire will stand just now to our left. Ball gets knocked forward. That one goes across. Sending that one in. The ball ricochets and comes back. And then kicked out to the near side, and there's Juarez who takes the mark once again. Juarez with a good boot up, drops in front. Going to be picked up, and high contact, and the trailing official made that call. So here is Lowen. Tonight, let it be Lowen as he sends that one in. Oh, nice mark. And thinking about playing on was Tim Peterson, but instead he does the smart thing and will go back and have a shot. This might be well within his range, but instead he goes short to a wide open option, and that wide open option is Nico Caprignano. It's been a long time since they scored a goal in the first quarter when they were going back and forth, and Caprignano makes the goal umpire sprint to his right, and it's through for behind. It's their first point in some time since the midway point of the third quarter, and the margin is 26 points. Golden Gate 5-4-34. Sacramento goes on the 1-2-8 with just about 9 minutes gone in this final term. As we said, Caprignano, best and fairest winner last year in Denver. Goes out to the left side, and the mark was taken. So, and that one is marked again. Pitchfork handball looking for Clark from Linfelt. Clark comes back, fires this one down, bounces on top, stays in play. There is Marcus Jones who is in there on the play, and it will be a ball up. Rucks nominate, knock forward, ball goes down. It's going to be a tackle, and it will be Golden Gate to come out. Sacramento hanging on here. Golden Gate with 2 points, the Suns with 1, and the Roos haven't been able to land that knockout punch. But to be honest, as time goes on, there's no real harm if they don't, unless Sacramento can string a couple of goals together. And the Suns will have the ball in their right half-back flank as it goes out on the far side. The Roos will send this one back in. Jones tracks back, but so does the Sheik. And Simmons has the footy. Simmons goes up on the far side. The mark is taken. So free kick for the Roos up on the far side. And we're waiting to see what the call is here. It looks like it's going to be a boundary throw-in. So boundary throw-in for with the Roos. Again, trying to land that knockout punch. Ball goes to ground. And the whistle, and we'll have a ball up. See Taylor in there. And you see Cooper White, it's a free kick, rather. As I said, it was a ball up. It's actually a free kick. I'll tell you what, the heat is wearing on everybody, especially this group of players who are playing their third and, thankfully for them, their final game of the day. Just trying to play things out. And the Roos, who escaped with victory here, have control seemingly. Here's a nice mark down the middle of the ground. And it is 52 we don't have listed with a name here. We'll go back and slot this one. Ball goes sailing. And it will be a free kick coming out. 7 minutes to go, and before we were remiss, once again, as we've been doing all day, we want to thank our good friends from Snohomish County Sports for hosting us. It's been a very busy weekend in and around the area. Over in Everett, they're having a 3-on-3 basketball tournament. There's a pickleball tournament happening right here in Lake Stevens, not terribly far from where we are. And there's, I think, a baseball tournament. We've been hearing some of what that's happening on the other side of the trees over there. And then course, in the week when Seattle hosted the MLB All-Star Game. And the Seattle Sounders are home tonight. The Mariners are home tonight. A lot of things happening here in this area, and we're thankful that Snohomish County could help us put on this tournament. Of course, our everlasting thanks to Tasmanian and to Watch AFL. Here comes a chance at the top of the goal square, and they work it back out to Taylor. Taylor breaks through everybody. The Suns are claiming that the ball was touched, and the umpire agrees. So this will only be a behind. There were everybody was appealing there, and thankfully for them, it's only a behind. Although that could have been the coup de grace, but in point of fact, it is only 1 point. So 5-5-35 to 1-2-8 Sacramento. While we're thanking people, also our thanks to Declan and Wilson, who's been my compatriot here on Field 1. And all the folks at Element 7, and we can't tell you enough how great of a job they've done. And if you're in the Seattle area, up here in Snohomish County, anywhere here in this part of the world, you need they are fantastic at what they do. And as I said, they've helped us bring these pictures to you. Here's a shot for goal, and that one will not be any question. And Taylor finally has his third, and the Roos may finally have their cherry on top of the sundae. 6-5-41 Golden Gate. Sacramento 1-2-8. 33 points with 5 minutes to go. So now the question is, who are some of the players who you might look at, not only for the All-Star and the best and fairest as well. Players like, here, Bradley Jordan has had a lot of the ball. Ryan Clark has had a lot of the ball. Duncan kicked some of the goals. Taylor starting to put his name in maybe for some All-Star votes. You look at some of the other players. Capriano has had a good day. Jim Blocko has played well. And then over on Seattle's side, when you have a player like Matthew Zappel, Ryan Pilardi had a good tournament. It's been that sort of day for everybody, and it's been some great to watch. Here is Jacob Tracy now as Sacramento looks for a goal to take back home with them to the Golden State Capitol. Tracy strides forward, but got under that one a little too much. It sails out to the right. Just got his foot to the ball. And a long pitchfork handball out from Daniel Hope. Mark is taken by Livy. Livy finds in the middle now for Bradley Jordan. Ball is kicked down, and the Roos now. This is Taylor, who has 3, goes into the middle, left-footed kick. Got 2 Roos against 1 Sun, and he's going to put that one. Oh, whoops! That was Anthony Ferreira, and that he's not going to hear about that one for a while, and for good reason. I think if it was a little bit closer, I think that would be he'd get a little bit more ribbing. But it's 6-6-42 Golden Gate, 1-2-8 Sacramento. Less than 3 minutes to go. The Golden Gate Roos going to win their first regional title since 2019. And, of course, they had won, rather, since 2018. In 2019, when it was held in Denver last, or check that when it was held in Salem last. The Roos had won that one. So they had won 2016, 2017, 2018, and 2019 as the ball gets picked off. So they had won 4 in a row. They had lost last year when Denver won. And they're going to be back at the top of the mountain, and at least in the regional championship sense, for the first time in 4 seasons. Can they add one more? One-on-one contest. The boundary line will win it in front of Taylor and Carter Mack. For the Suns, though, I mean, they played well, and it's very difficult to ask you to play the best team in the competition as well as you are. And here comes Marcus Jones out the back as he is still playing. 1 minute to go. Golden Gate going to win their 5th regional championship. And their first since 2019. Of course, that doesn't count 2020 when we didn't have one, and then the super regionals or the sub-regionals. Ball goes up on the far side now, and the ball is marked. Not much time left. And I completely have lost in terms of the Golden Gate. It was the Golden Gate Roos who won that. So they had won essentially five regional / sub-regionals in a row. And after Denver won last year, they are going to be back on top of the West. As this one comes out to the near side, and it will be a double for the GGAFL with the Iron Maidens winning earlier in the women's division, and things are getting a little bit more physical but not chippy, and that'll be a free kick. But it's all over bar the shouting now, and there is the final hooter, and for the first time since 2019, the Golden Gate Roos are the Western Regional champions, and they have finished it off in grand style over a good but not good enough Sacramento Suns team. The final score in the final game, it's the Golden Gate Roos 6-642, Sacramento 128. Jim Blocko had the only goal for the Suns, 3 for Zach Taylor, and 1 each for Jourdain, Livy, and Farah One. So for the Roos, their season continues. They have not lost, I do believe. Got to go back and double check on that, but their great season continues. For the Suns, well, it was a rough go today, but you have to say they played well pretty much from beginning to end, even though the results weren't there. They played as hard as you could expect them to. And just taking one last look at the at Golden Gate, they did lose one game in the Tri-Cup. So they go to 5-1 on the season. So that is going to do it for us. And once again, our thanks to Wilson and Declan and everybody at Element 7 for bringing you the pictures today. Our thanks to Snohomish County Sports for allowing us to use these great fields here in Lake Stevens. And our thanks to Tasmanian for sponsoring us, as well as Odin Mortgage, Aussie Sports USA, Blundstone US as well. And our thanks, of course, to Doran James for the executive director of the league for putting this together, as well as to Mackenzie Adamo, who we had a little bit earlier on in the commentary position, for helping put us together. And, of course, our ever-loving thanks and everlasting thanks to you. If you want to follow what's happening in the USAFL, you can do so on our website, usafl.com, on Facebook and Twitter. On Facebook at usafl.com, and on Twitter, Instagram, Threads, and YouTube at USAFL1997. We will see you next in Racine, Wisconsin, on August 5th when the men do battle against Canada, and on August 19th when the women do battle against Canada as well. And we hope to see you there. We'll have delayed footage for you the weekend of those matchups. Until then, for everybody here in Lake Stevens, my name is Brian Barish. Enjoy the footy wherever you may be, and I'll talk at you next time.